Doing really well right now.
We're live.
Oh yeah, we're live. We just went live.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Nelson from Central Florida with our guest at.
In Delaware.
Oh, wait a second. I have another top talking here. All right. So we have. Is it here?
Delaware.
We have a guest, Dr. Kiltz.
Oh, that's the guest. And
Knock Barb, right? And our special guest today, Jessica Roman and Alia.
And Earl. And Earl's here too.
Don't
Earl
forget
from Ohio.
Earl.
Hey, is that Earl Ish?
It is.
All right. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Hashtag KMT for our giveaway of what?
Kiltz Keto is Carnivore book.
Okay. And today's Friday, so
There we go.
Alia, do you have any announcements?
Right after at 8:00, there is a podcast releasing with Dr.Kiltz and Ben Bickman. Make sure to check that out. And I'll put the link in the chat, but it'll be available at 8 a.m.
All right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Kiltz, where are you today?
I am in Mount Tremblant with some of my very best carnivore friends. And we're here for the first ever Scott Everson meat stock extraordinaire small this is not a meetup, it's retreat. Excuse me, thank you, my brain isn't working. So a retreat, and we're having steak, and we got amazing people here sharing and talking about carnivore and keto. Mount Tremblant, Canada, not far from Montreal.
All right. So Jessica, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about you, your life, your baby, your carnivore story.
All right. Good morning. My name is Jessica Roman. I founded Christian Health Collective, and this all came about from having my daughter, who was born with a very rare and terminal genetic disorder called MMIHS. It's an ACTG2 mutation, and her phenotype is one of the worst known phenotypes. So there's about 200 people in the world with this diagnosis, and we were told from the time she was born that TPN was our only option in terms of sustaining her life. So she had a central line placed by the time she was 16 months old that she was completely dependent on. Now, the interesting thing is in her early life, it's a smooth muscle disorder. So it affects both small intestine, large intestine, and also the bladder. So in her early life, all she really required was catheterization, and being breastfed, she was fine. So my husband and I thought, they got her diagnosis wrong. She's doing great. And then as soon as we started introducing solids, she declined so quickly. So we ended up, continuing to do what the doctors told us. And she ended up having multiple surgeries. So first was an ileostomy, and then she became weaker and weaker on the TPN, and her ileostomy started to prolapse and have all these issues with her intestines. And we were having surgery after surgery to the point where sometimes it was a weekly surgery for a couple months straight. Central line replacements, things like that. And my husband and I were scratching our heads because we remembered when she was little, she was doing so great breastfeeding, and we kept pushing the issue with the hospital that there must be a dietary intervention that can make her better or allow her to live without TPN. And we were met multiple times with hostility, social workers, interventions,
Wow.
telling us to stop obsessing over the diet and accept her diagnosis. and we wouldn't. So some of her other symptoms that she was having was her stomach would get huge and distended, so SIBO, and chronic obstruction. So if she had eaten something that was fermentable, now we know, so any fiber at all, any carbohydrates at all, she would get a pseudo-obstruction where her intestine in one spot would grow so big that her bowel function would stop completely.
Wow.
And she would require hospitalization for at least a week to recover from that, and she would lose weight rapidly during that time. So when she was 2.5, she was 26 pounds. My 18-month-old is 26 pounds. And she's very tall for her age, so she was exceptionally thin. She was on TPN. She had barely any hair. She was gray. She was lifeless. And she was just having these repeat surgeries, huge distended tummy. She stopped talking. She stopped walking. She was just sitting on the couch, watching TV, not responding to us, and in pain. She would just be in pain constantly from her stomach. So that's when we found the GAPS diet. And when we looked into it, we contacted a practitioner. We said, we like the idea of this diet, but she can't have plants. She can't have carrots or garlic or onions. It'll kill her. And they said, oh, well, there's a version called the no plant GAPS diet, which is carnivore, essentially. And we tried it. And within 2 months, she gained 10 pounds. So she went from 26 pounds to 36. And it's incredible to see her before and after pictures, because she went from literally looking like a little skeleton with a huge tummy to this chunky, healthy, almost 3-year-old girl. And her hair grew like crazy. So she had these thick curls that came out.
Wow.
And she just looked incredible so fast. So it was really amazing to see. And of course, the doctors were shocked, and we're still trying to convince them that this is a good thing.
Wow.
So would
Any
you
questions?
just,
Put them in the chat, please, with a QQQ.
Jessica, would you state the disease again and
Mhm.
what they think the problem is?
Yeah, so it's MMIHS. I don't know if I can say it all on camera. It's so
Can
long.
you try?
Megacystis microcolon intestinal hypoperistalsis syndrome.
Thank you,
It's a
Dr.
rare,
Nelson.
severe. It's a rare, severe congenital disorder,
Mhm.
and basically, it's a anomaly of the internal, mostly the intestines.
Yeah, it's basically paralysis of the whole intestinal tract, including like not having any tone to the bowel. So the bowel will just continue to expand.
But when she eats a carnivore diet,
Mhm.
can you explain the change that you've seen in your child, who's how old now?
She's 6.
6.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happened was when we started giving her the carnivore foods. So on the no plant GAPS diet, it's very specific. They can only have fermented dairy, has to be fermented for 24 hours. So we make the yogurt or the kefir that we're using homemade, because it has to be fermented long enough that there's no sugar left. And then meat stock, which is like short cooked bone broth with lots of meat in it. And then we blend that up. So we will make these huge pots of organ meats and fatty meats, put it in a blender, add in the fermented dairy, some egg yolks, and some butter, and that's her G-tube feed every day. She doesn't necessarily need a G-tube. She can eat by mouth, but the G-tube is more convenient for how much she needs to get in. So what happened when we started giving her these foods through her G-tube is she started having lots of die-off of yeast. So in the very beginning, we were venting her G-tube every 10 or 15 minutes, just giving her a couple mLs of the feed. And my husband and I were like, what are we doing? Because it seems like she's getting worse because there's so much gas. But we knew from our GAPS practitioner that this is normal, and we had to stay the course until all of the pathogens that were in her gut started to die. So once she went through that period of die-off, we saw her with a flat stomach for the first time in her life. And we were like taking pictures, like we couldn't believe that she had a flat stomach. So that's what happened. Really, it took away the mechanism that was causing the gas, which is anything that will feed pathogens, which is anything but meat and very well fermented dairy and fat.
Have you gone without the dairy at all?
Did for a period of time because my youngest is allergic to dairy. So that makes my life really fun. Just having to keep things separate.
Yeah.
And she did well with that too.
I'm wondering if dairy part of our problem is it's still a modern addition to the diet that maybe not so good for us.
Mm-hmm.
And breast milk. And I just wonder where human breast milk comes in even 6-year-old, and adding human breast milk to the mix as what that would be like.
She would love that, believe me. She still asks me to pump and give her some. I'm like, no. But it could be. I think even for her, even human breast milk should be fermented. That's how sensitive she is. And she had so much microbiome damage done when she was little because they wanted to treat the SIBO with multiple rounds of antibiotics. So that just wiped out her flora completely. So we have to be really, anything that has any amount of sugar I even have given her like raw goat's milk before, and really bad reaction with gas.
Cooked versus raw meat products. Have you done any experiments with that?
I haven't used anything raw yet. I'm not that brave. For her. For myself, I mean, I'll eat raw steak, or if I'm making beef jerky, I'll just eat it. But haven't tried for her. Do you think it could be beneficial?
Well, I always go back to Pottinger's work on raw meat versus cooked meat and raw milk products versus pasteurized, and think that the raw is probably better because the cooked meat changes the fat, renders it, and may damage the glycoproteins of the cells that may be part of the inflammatory process for some people that may still have it. But so what do the doctors have to say about this change?
Well, it was going really well with them, to be honest, until she had the pan flu in August. So I haven't had a chance. The pan flu. Like, I guess it's like COVID.
Yeah.
They're diagnosing everything with different names now. I've never heard of the pan flu. But she was diagnosed with that. And she was eating carnivore chicken nuggets, but I coated them with fermented coconut flour. Usually she's okay with that, and it's something that she really likes. So I try to make it for her every once in a while. I deep fry them, but even just that little bit of fermented coconut flour, because her intestines were already slower from being sick, caused a bowel obstruction. So she was life flighted to CHOP twice, and I haven't had a chance to talk about this on any platforms yet. So I actually just got her home. So she had 2 bowel obstructions. She lost over 10 pounds. And the doctors on the second admission immediately attacked the diet. So it wasn't her doctor who was on service, and her doctor happened to be in Europe. during this time. And I said, please contact her doctor. She knows how well Riley's been doing for 3 years. And they went on a complete witch hunt. And like, we're going to get every nutritional lab. We're going to run every test. I said, please go for it. So they did. And it came back. Everything came back completely normal. Her vitamin D levels, vitamin A, zinc, every lab that they ran came back normal, except for vitamin C, which we know that we don't need as much vitamin C when you don't have glucose in the diet.
Right.
So they insisted on infusions. So we were like, sure, give her vitamin C infusions. She got like the med spa experience with that. But basically they wanted to do a small bowel follow through to see what was going on and if there was a potential for a volvulus because she had these repeat obstructions. And they gave her barium with no hydration. So her kidneys got injured and she ended up in the hospital for an extra month. She could have gone home the day before the test. So I'm still dealing with giving her 2 times the hydration that she normally gets. And mind you, she can't get Pedialyte for electrolytes. So I have to make broth constantly to keep up with her hydration needs and her electrolyte needs. But she is home now, but her kidneys are still injured from the hospital, not from the diet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was really an ordeal. So the doctors before were very supportive, particularly her doctor who knows her case and saw how poorly she was doing before. And the 2 doctors who are the leading world experts on this disease will tell you she's doing better than anyone else with it, and they want to study it. But everyone else in the hospital is at odds, and it's actually this huge controversy happening right now, her case. So please pray for us because we are in a true battle right now, fighting for her to be able to continue on this. Multiple doctors told us they want her on TPN, which causes osteoporosis, sepsis, severe malnutrition.
I'd
liver
probably they
failure.
want high amounts of carbohydrates, right?
Yes. And we had multiple meetings with the nutritionists and the heads of the departments. We explained to them the mechanism of fermentation with the fiber and that it can cause a pseudoobstruction. And the dietitian comes in and recommends we give her 1.5 cups of applesauce and 1.5 cups of rice every day. I said, you're going to kill my child. Like, the conversations got so heated because they have no idea how to treat this disease long-term, except for intestinal transplants, which are extremely risky, or TPN, which is also extremely risky. And they don't understand carnivore at all. And because there's not a lot of really good published studies with blood work to back up the progress, they're not convinced. So it's very difficult. However,
despite the fact that she has been outperforming anyone else with the same condition ever, they're still not convinced.
There's no logic behind it. And I think, honestly, this may be coming from above, from the top, because it's gone through the whole hospital.
Dr. Kiltz, yeah. Okay, he left.
Because they're talking in the background. How did you handle her food while she was in the hospital?
So I make it at home, freeze it, and then drive it to the hospital.
Oh, wow. And they would feed her that. They wouldn't fight against it.
Or will you have to do it yourself?
Well, I have to do it myself. But my husband, he stayed with her the entire time. So they will not administer her feeds because they didn't make them. So my husband 6 times a day was making her feeds in the hospital, preparing them in the family kitchen and administering them to her. And get this, she lost 10 pounds in the hospital. She's up 12. So she's back to 53, 53 pounds at 6 years old. She's huge. not the normal size 6-year-old. She's in like the 80th percentile.
I love that. Wow. My daughter's 7 and she's like 40 pounds and she eats a ton also. So that's great for her, your daughter, Jessica.
Hello, Scott.
Hey,
Hi, Scott.
Dr. Nelson. We're not live, are we?
We're totally
Yes, we're
live.
live.
No, we're not live. We're not live. Scott,
Because
well, one is this is a very special retreat.
Hello, Dr. Lisa.
All of our
Dr.
best
Lisa.
carnivore friends, and some that have been accused of eating plants from time to time.
Here.
Dr. Wiedemann, shame on you.
Well, but it's a very interesting thing, because let me ask Jessica this: do you think ultimately either the plants are just straight poisonous, and some of us are more sensitive than others, and these diseases may be again difficult to identify? What's Scott give here? Oh, what is this?
It's pure maple syrup Canadian. We are in Canada right now. And Lisa and I are going to go to the bathroom and guzzle this and hand in our carnivore card. I'm kidding.
That sounds really gross.
But so Jessica, it's getting. I think these are all defects in post-translational modification of proteins that affect neurotransmitters that are part of the natural normal glycosylation process. But I'm wondering if ultimately, some things your child is more affected by them plant-wise. And you mentioned fiber and certainly fermentation and the things that we eat, because the gut is basically a fermentation chamber, right? Methanogen producers. And do you think that it really comes down to plant poisoning and overgrowth of bacteria, yeast, potentially? That is the biggest problem. But maybe so much damage has been done. It's not an easy road to fix.
Yeah, I don't think that she'll ever tolerate any amount of plants in her life. I don't think we'll ever get her there. I think for her, plants are poison. And Dr. Chafee and I had an interesting conversation about this. Whatever is the best for the most sensitive of us really is what's best for all of us, but we don't notice it as much, right? Like I can eat a sweet potato and I'll be okay. She can eat a sweet potato and she'll not do well. But if I ate only sweet potatoes, I do poorly.
We have a pertinent question here.
This question came before the whole story. This was
I know,
before
but
the
she was
live
talking
stream.
about
okay.
fermented
Okay,
dairy
okay,
that when
yeah.
she spoke. So the question came up whether she can have sauerkraut.
She actually can have sauerkraut juice. Just the question. We do give her homemade sauerkraut juice. I ferment it for at least 2 weeks for vitamin C.
Well, but why?
So yeah,
why do we even do that? Why even?
I mean, really more for like the microbiome diversity to help with her healthy flora and also her digestion, because she tends to have really low stomach acid.
And you find it gives her some benefit.
Yeah, it will change the color of her poop from like very, very light to dark.
Interesting. But what I was saying is, I don't think this question is related to Jessica. This question was asked randomly before the live.
Oh, for
stream.
Dr. Kiltz.
Yeah, but that's good to know.
Well, it's okay to eat anything. It's your life, nobody
Right.
else's. And do we know the exact diet that if we all ate, we'd all live the longest and be the healthiest? Who's going to answer that one? We don't. We don't. And I was having a really great conversation with Mary Ruddick, who also is here. We're talking about the microbiome, but we also dove into the glycobiome. And ultimately, we don't know the right diet. And certainly we're finding that there are sensitivities and predispositions that so many of us may be suffering from, that a carnivore diet seems to be the best for us. And you can eat sauerkraut. It's fermented. That means in the fermentation process, it simplifies the sugars. I don't think it necessarily metabolizes all the sugar, but remember, protein amino acids are fermentable.
Mm-hmm.
Protein breaks down amino acids, which are fermentable. And so, we may be missing the understanding. And I think Dr. Chafee recently made some comments, or Dr. Berry, talking about protein poisoning, rabbit starvation. We have to be aware of that. And I mean, ultimately, keto, carnivore, and paleo are all high animal fat diets. And technically, I think rare to raw is probably the healthiest, because it's the cells of the adipocytes which contain all the building blocks of the body. And so your child gained weight, but then lost weight. Well, where did the weight go? The weight was utilized for energy production,
Mm-hmm.
for building blocks of the body.
Mm-hmm.
We're live.
Yes.
And so, my sense is, again, I'm not a big fermentation person. You can do these things if you wish, but are they better for us than not? We haven't proven that. I don't know the answer.
They're pushing really hard on the carbohydrates. They want, because her kidneys are injured, they're pushing really hard to keep her ketones under 1. And I'm like, she's been in ketosis for 3 years with no issue. So I have to check her ketones constantly, and I'm giving her like 3 cups of the yogurt per day because they're forcing me to. My hands are tied right now. Usually she wouldn't be getting this much fermented dairy.
I did put a question in there, and I'm sure you have some others, Alia.
Yeah.
I mean, what control? Once you get in the hospital, it changes your control.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're at risk of being arrested. You're at risk of taking your child away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what all of this is really one of the challenges. The modern medical system knows the answers. It's kind of like, be careful on the streets.
Yeah, it's very hard to navigate as parents. We are very well aware of those risks, and certain doctors pose those risks to us more than others. And while we thought everyone was on our side at this point, to see a child with this rare of a disease that is terminal do so well for so long, we thought they would be convinced. But if it's not written in the literature, then it is not supported. And I said, I work with families as a GAPS coach, helping them through this same protocol. And there are 16 other children around the world right now who are using this diet, who are doing great. Some of these kids have stopped needing weekly blood transfusions. Right, in their health to get to that point. Many of them have come off TPN and have not gone back on, just like my daughter. So it's replicated now around the world many times. Even children who are seen at the same hospital as my daughter by the same doctor have replicated it. One little boy gained 20 pounds this year. He was 49 pounds at 9 years old.
Wow.
Now he's 10 and he is almost 70. He looks incredible.
I can get some of these questions.
What can I? So the healthcare system in the world, and certainly in the U.S., and everyone's got to look at their own, is flawed, because the focus seems to be on profits and not people.
Yeah.
And there's a consortium of capitalists, and this is just simply the story that I see because I'm part of it. I'm in the capitalistic Western medical system, where it's costs are rising, care is diminishing, and people are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. What are your thoughts on the healthcare system and how we can make a dent, to change, drastically help those that are suffering?
I think we need diet first intervention. I think we could have saved my daughter probably 15 of the 16 surgeries had she had proper nutrition prior to having any of those surgeries. Had she transitioned from breast milk to a carnivore diet, I don't think she would have ever needed, she may have needed one surgery for an ileostomy because her colon really does not work well. But one interesting thing that we learned that I haven't had a chance to talk about yet either, her motility is normal. When they did that small bowel follow through that caused the dehydration and the kidney injury, her motility is normal. And I said, normal for a kid with MMIHS or normal? They said, no, normal for anyone. So for the first time in her life, her small intestine is working like a normal human being's is. So I think even with a disease this extreme, you can actually make physiological improvements, even in a child with a genetic disorder, with proper dietary intervention. That has to be the approach. But, we've already lost them over $1 million in TPN by having one child off of TPN for 3 years, because TPN is $1,000 a day. So then multiply that by 2 kids. Now that's $2 million. Like we're losing them money. And she's not on any medications. So they're losing money from that as well. Some of these kids are on 15 medications per day to stimulate motility and slow it down because they get diarrhea. It's so screwed up to see how if they just had the right foods going into their bodies, they would be fine without any of these extreme interventions, including surgery. And obviously, if we started there for pretty much every health issue, we would be in a good spot.
Yeah. This is from Kimberly. What hospital association are they associated with? What state are you in?
It's Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, so it's about 2 hours north of us where we're at. And we're in Delaware, they're in Pennsylvania.
So you have to go there. You go to Pennsylvania every time?
Yeah. But
wow.
This was her first hospitalization in 3 years. So we haven't been to the hospital. We've just been doing follow-ups with her team once a year. I mean, wow. That's how well she's been doing. They weren't ordering blood work for her, anything. Now she's getting blood work to track her kidneys and everything. But yeah, she's been doing so well. It's not like we were traveling up there.
That's great. J Bud, are treatments necessary while your daughter is eating carnivore, and will you be denied health coverage if you reject medical diagnosis and recommendations?
So no, she's covered by Medicaid for life where we're at, because kids who have a terminal diagnosis or something that they're born with that's lifelong, Medicaid covers them, thank God, because she was kicked off our private insurance, which I think is probably not legal, the second she was diagnosed.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they accidentally ended only her insurance, but my husband and I were continued. So, and treatments while she's eating carnivore, nothing. There is not a single thing that we have to do for her when she's eating a carnivore diet. She does still have an ileostomy and a G-tube, so obviously we have to take care of that. But nothing else, no medications, no infusions, nothing.
That's great. Let's see here. Oh, what is the disease? I'm sorry, I missed that. If you want to explain it one more time.
Oh yeah. It's MMIHS and it's an ACTG2 genetic mutation, and it just causes peristalsis to be very, very slow in the entire intestinal tract and very weak intestines. So the squeezing and the movement through the bowel is significantly slowed, and the bowel doesn't have a lot of tone. So their intestines will literally just continue to expand and expand. And some kids even have perforations because their bowel gets so thin and so big.
So it's a neurotransmitter which makes electromuscular defects. It's probably the best way to explain it, because basically the gut's not moving. And so there must be some, it's curare, I think, is a great example of a neuromuscular drug that basically stops your ability from breathing. I mean, so think of it, something in the plants and or the feeding of the microbes that makes the toxin that is the culprit here. Interesting, cystic fibrosis, which is a disease of the surfactant production, I think also has helped with the carnivore diet, and because it's defects to the glycocalyx. And I think the glycocalyx damage is a really big one. And we're going to be at Hack Your Health, and I don't know, are there still tickets available for Hack Your Health, Alia?
I believe there are still
Yes,
tickets for
yes. So we want to encourage everyone to come to Hack Your Health in Tampa in November. I think pretty much all of us are going to be there. Vincent, you going to be there?
I have not registered yet.
Not yet.
Should I come?
You should come. Yes. We should
Yes.
encourage everyone. And you know, the beauty of this carnivore world, and again, carnivore lifestyle, whether you have some plants or not, everyone's welcome in this world, by the way. And I think it's a lifestyle that we're taking control of our health care like the rest of our lives, not waiting for some governmental agency or other bureaucratic agency to sort of guide us through life.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about the Christian Health Collective, what that is, how you founded it, what it's all about?
Yeah. So when we were in the trenches with my daughter, I really felt called to figure it out and share it with other families, right? Because there are families I know who have lost their children to this disease, unfortunately. So once she was doing well for a long time, I was listening to a sermon about when you make a vow to God. And when she was really sick, I said to God, please show me how to heal her, and I promise you I will show others, right? And I had done nothing up until this point. I was completely off social media. I didn't even have a Facebook account. I just was offline and not working with other families or sharing at all. So I felt very convicted by this sermon that when you make a vow to God, you should probably keep it. So I, with my husband, and coming up with names, and I have some friends who are also in the natural health arena, and I said to them, why don't we just band together and we'll share the costs of forming a website and having a social media account and all those things. And everyone jumped on it, and now we have a team of 7 or 8 people, and everyone is just Christians working together and helping people in the natural health realm. So it's been really fulfilling, and it's also gotten me back on social media, which I'm happy about and also not happy about. But it's helping families to find my daughter's story, which is the most important thing, and adults with chronic intestinal pseudoobstruction, which is a much broader range of people. Yeah, so many. So I have people coming to me from all over the world with chronic intestinal pseudoobstruction who are adults who need help. And every single one of them is seeing these huge improvements by just following the same path that we did with my daughter. And they're having the same results. So it's been really fulfilling, and also working with all of my best friends has been really wonderful too.
Okay. we're done with questions. I don't know if Dr. Kiltz has something else.
You guys, I hope it's not too loud here, but I mean, I think this is the true collective is online social media, whether you're ketovore, carnivore, vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are or not, or political affiliations. We're human beings. And I think collectively humans are all about helping others, and nothing better in life to now social media offers the access and a community of caring. And we may not see people physically, but I think our social media connections are amazing. But
Sometimes we do.
well, then I was going to say, Vincent, you're in Montreal area,
Yes,
right?
Montreal.
And in the personal meetups, and this is why Hack Your Health, Healing Humanity events, and all the things that we're doing together are remarkable. And here we are, you know, we're sitting watching. We got the tea, making beautiful bacon eggs. There might have been some strawberries in there, which again, I might touch them. I might touch my tongue. I don't know yet. But I think that's the most amazing thing, because, I mean, how easy would it be to connect with people with this particular disease in our world before the really, I mean, the COVID social media connection that happened, you know,
Right.
good things out of all things, and God really knows what he's doing. And so we have to have faith in that. And I think that's where this world is. Let's come together. Let's be shining lights to attract and connect, rather than be polarizing in this concept and idea. Maybe if I may ask Vincent real quick, what is it about coming to these physical meetings that really adds to this relationship, do you think?
Well, I don't know. It's as if it's a major source of inspiration for me. It's one thing to get the information, but in Quebec, at least, it's extremely rare that people are on these alternative diets, let's say keto, carnivore. So for me, this meetup has kind of brought them to life and made this like a reasonable way of life. And then I come back home and I'm energized for a long time. So, and also I propagate this kind of information. So yes, it's kind of normalize it in a way to be around people who cook bacon and eggs in the morning.
And they eat steak, rare to raw, black and blue, with some salt and butter on it.
And even I would say from Quebec, somebody who talks about God, it becomes so rare in Quebec. So also this is inspired for me, kind of touch at my Christian roots, which are kind of a little bit far away, but it ignites something too. So yeah, it's very energizing.
And I mean, I think ultimately, if you look around the world, our faith is really so important in all of this. And you know, I think the conversation about faith always is first, and then, you know, we'll help people that are sick. And the community of conversation, Jessica, maybe you could comment about how you've connected with other people suffering from this particular problem, either themselves or their children, and how that is, you know, it affected you.
Yeah, I wrote a book on my daughter's story. It's called Dying to Thriving. So once I started posting about that, it started getting shared, and parents started reading the book and then reaching out to me and saying, my child had the exact same path as your child, did great breastfeeding, started solids, and went downhill very quickly. And we want to try this diet too. Can you help us? So then, you know, we would get into it and get them started. But it's really interesting because it's such a rare disease that the hashtag is basically empty, except for families who have this. So I hashtag everything with MMIHS or ACTG2. And when I was looking for this information myself, I was looking on those hashtags and I would see other families, and what I would see was really sad. But now when you look at those hashtags, my information comes up and my interviews like this, and I am hoping that it's a source of hope for parents. And I can't tell you how many of them have told me, you know, your daughter is the only hope that we've ever found for our child. And
Wow.
so when I'm on calls, sometimes I'll bring her over and show her to the other child or to the family. And they're just so happy to see her glowing and growing, and how beautiful and happy and what a normal life she has. I mean, she does the monkey bars. You would think because she was born with low tone, like this is something that always amazes my husband and I. She'll ride her bike over a mile a day, and then she'll come home and she'll do the monkey bars. She's got the grip strength like better than me. I can't do the monkey bars myself. But yeah, so they've been able to find me through these hashtags because there's no one else really posting on them.
So in fact, your child doesn't have a genetic disorder, but is genetically predisposed to eat like our ancient humans likely did, in her evolutionary line, which was a animal-based, not a plant-based diet. And so maybe, as we call them, mutations, we're missing the point. They actually are more valuable for the life that we used to lead. But it's hard to fit in this world of plant-based,
Yes.
which may be, I think we were having a really great conversation by the fireplace. It's the scientists and doctors, unfortunately, are ultimately very biased and uninterested in opening to new and different ideas, which
Yes.
I even believe some of us in the keto carnivore world can be quick to say, no, that's not true. Rather than, we thought about that, or maybe, let's study that. Let's talk about that. But, this isn't politics. It really is I think it's such a human calling for all of us to do something different. And now we have access through social media and to share the story, write the books. Talked to my good friend Lisa Wiedemann yesterday. She's been adding a few plants to her carnivore lifestyle. I call it carnivore lifestyle because lions eats less frequently, adds more fatty meat. And if you look at Schlank's book, Eat Meat 3 times a day, just adding meat seemed to help so many children. And I had lamb brain the other day. I don't know. Have you ever had lamb brain?
I never tried that.
I have.
It was interesting. It really is. All these conversations are about putting a seed of a change in the world, which we have to be patient about and keep speaking our thoughts and ideas, even though we might be chastised for them.
Yeah. It's really scary as a parent because we are putting our necks out there when we do this for our child, but we don't have a choice. And we are not going back to TPN and all of the risks associated with that, including osteoporosis. I mean, her bone scans are still showing that she's behind even after 3 years carnivore because of the 3 years that she spent on TPN when she was a growing, developing baby, when she was growing very quickly and she was completely dependent on it. I mean, I don't know how anyone in their right mind could think that GMO soy and sugar injected into a child's veins is going to be healthier for them than real food that our ancestors ate for thousands of years. And it's funny you said that too, because I asked one of the doctors that, I said, what do you think our ancestors ate? And they said, well, they ate bread and beans and rice. I said, what did they eat before that? They were hunter-gatherers. Okay, what did they eat in the winter? What did they eat when fruit wasn't in season? And you could see him go, oh.
And I think that's important to ask the questions in a way that are insightful for all of us. And that's why working within the Western world, I believe that we can bring about a ketogenic lifestyle that will begin to help we know it's an ancient therapeutic modality. And as we begin to write the stories and do the studies, or at least to me, I'm all about let's just share people's experience and stories, because that's what the name of the book is Dying to Thriving.
Dying to Thriving.
Can we get it on Amazon?
Yes.
Alia, make sure there's a link, and all of us should get that. So important.
I'm putting an order in.
Yep.
It's a hard read
Scott?
because it's very emotional, but
Well, we don't want a non-emotional book. There are emotions, right? Emotions are the motion of the oceans, and without emotions, there's no reproduction.
yeah.
Dr. Nelson, any other particular questions in there? Comments?
There's a few questions, Alia.
This is from my Willies 57. I'm always worried about mad cow disease from eating beef. Are my worries unfounded? And I just said yes, they're unfounded. Unfounded mad cow disease worries. Okay.
Cows
Chris
don't eat
Juilliard.
cows, right?
Cows don't eat cows.
Here's your breakfast.
Proper.
Oh,
What is that? Eggs?
eggs, and they got bacon coming. We don't eat breakfast, but we might snack a little bit.
So Chris says with proper preparation ingredients, is it possible to thrive on a liquid diet?
Jessica.
I mean, the stomach basically makes liquid out of everything you eat.
Yeah.
Time, right? So you make liquid out of it before it gets there. Why not? A question. I don't know where fasting comes in this. How many meals a day are you feeding your child in order to thrive the best she's doing?
She gets 3 a day, so 3 G-tube feeds, and she does great on that.
Simple.
Some kids are on continuous feeds, with the pump. She does fine with just 3 big meals a day. And then she'll snack here and there. I see the question, was I eating carnivore before her diagnosis? No, but my husband was. So my husband was the catalyst behind all of this, because he ate carnivore for years because he's a bodybuilder. And he looked great when I met him, still looks great, still eats carnivore. We've been in and out of the hospital, so both of us have been very stressed and not as strict, but I expected both of us to gain a lot more weight while she was in the hospital, to be honest, and he did better than I did. But he was the one who first said to me, she doesn't need carbohydrates to thrive. And I was like, who doesn't eat bread? Like, of course she needs bread. How's she going to live without it?
I had another conversation last night about carbohydrates are in meat.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think my personal bias is plants are simply more poisonous for some over others, and they tend to add to more fiber and fermentation in the gut, which is deadly for humans, if you look at Salisbury's work. And so ultimately, the carbohydrates, I don't know, I bet carbohydrates are required because they're in the cells of every single organism we eat. So I maybe our science is
to a very limited amount.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Processed carbohydrates
We know because we can measure them.
The glycocalyx is like such.
But you can still measure the carbohydrates. So the amounts in meats are very minimal.
Eric Westman calls them carblets. Carblets.
I agree with Dr. Nelson.
I agree, and I love you.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear. I had a really great vacation. Yes, Tia. Yes, dear. Oh, you want to go there? Don't go there. Don't eat. Okay, yes.
This is for Dr. Nelson. Doc, when is a good time to get painful knees checked?
Whenever they give you an appointment.
But what can we do right now? And my book is, again, back to Jessica's work. There's so many stories out there about so many inflammatory conditions just fixed on either keto or carnivore, faith and fasting. I mean, I think, just dive right into that, right?
Mhm.
There we go. We should do the giveaway. I'm going to give away Jessica's book this morning. I changed my mind. I'm going to
Oh,
that's
give
great.
away her book.
Yep.
So
What
get
are we giving away?
Jessica's book on Amazon. I'm going to buy a copy for the winner, whoever wins this morning. So hashtag KMT to get a copy of Jessica's book. Yeah. While I'm pulling this up, Jessica, do you have anything else you would like to communicate this morning?
I mean, thanks for having me. It's really great. I always love the opportunity to share her story because it's so remarkable. And to
if
see her.
If someone wants to find you, where do they find you? What's the best place to look for you?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm not super active, but I try my best. And Christian Health Collective is at chealthcollective.org. So everyone can sign up for the newsletter, and we send out updates, interviews, anything else that's kind of going on.
Awesome. All right, we're doing it now. We're doing the giveaway. Yay, Tony Vargas, 8896. Congratulations. Email me, alia@drkiltz.com with your address, and I will order a copy of Jessica's book for you. You're muted, Dr. Kiltz.
So Healing Humanity, really join KMT for free, by the way, and come visit us. And we're going to be surrounded by so many amazing vendors with many, many, many ideas that add to biohacking or simple diet. We're even going to start talking more about what we wear, clothing wise, and just, so much about how you think in life, how you go about ultimately all these thoughts going on in this computer are driving and directing your time, picturing your life, right? And for me, this is why I love the stories of the Bibles, and they're stories that inspire us all more so than anything. And our village is now online. I mean, we have a village right here every day, 6 a.m. Eastern time. I still call it the 5 a.m. Club, but it's a whole nother story. But it is really there, and it doesn't matter what you're suffering from. There's a community out there that can help.
Absolutely.
Jessica, I'm so happy you talked
and so how often do you go online, Jessica? Do you have a regular time, or is it just random?
I don't go live, but I do try to check my messages pretty often, especially on Instagram, because I get a lot of DMs, regarding the carnivore lifestyle, and especially from medically complex parents. And I check my email very often. So anyone can send an email to info@chealthcollective.org as well. I get a lot of requests and messages, so I'm very active there, but I try to make videos like once a week. I've been a little off my game, but I'll get back to it.
And what's your name on Instagram?
It is, I don't even know.
I got it right here. It's C Health Collective.
Yep, C Health Collective. That's it.
And I'll put it in the chat also.
Mm-hmm.
Next time Scott has a retreat up in Mount Tremblant, everyone here has got to sign up. It's amazing. And there's really some great one-on-one smaller groups. Can you guys, and here we're at Mount Tremblant, right? Looking out the lake, and the fog is sort of set in, the low clouds. It's really beautiful. I was up at 4:30 this morning watching the stars, and it's the time that nobody else is up. So that's my best time to be wandering around in the house. And
if there's one closer to us, I would love to bring my daughter, because I think, eating carnivore as a child can be pretty isolating.
where are you?
Meatstock in May in Gatlinburg.
Or Hack Your Health.
Where are you, Jessica?
We're in Delaware right now.
Delaware. You go to CHOP in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Yeah, they're amazing, by the way. For a lot of these diseases, and that's why we have to go there and have the conversation to inspire them to realize that, hey, this kid, they did this, and look what's happening. And maybe we have put together, it should be a case report, right? And then submit it to Dave Feldman's, it's Citizen Scientists. And
her case is written. It just got written. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're hoping my next push is because like I said, we have 16 kids that are thriving. So we could do a pretty substantial case series.
We should do a meetup in the Delaware, New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia. Is that?
Yeah, it's all close.
Yeah. It'd be awesome.
That would be amazing. She would love it. She would love it.
Cool.
Love that. All right.
So make sure we put the links. Go to KMT or Dr.Kiltz or Kiltz Health. All those things get same place. Sign up for Hack Your Health and all the meetups, and we'll work on one down in the Delaware area for sure, and share the stories.
Whose kid is that?
That's my cue. That's my smallest one.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
Guys.
Have a good day, everyone.
So
All
much
Guys
fun.
Carnivore.
Yep.
All right, everyone. God